I don't know how to fade the music out. Welcome, everybody. Episode 3 of the Dumb Dumb Crypto Show. We appreciate you tuning in. A little bit late today. A couple things I didn't know that you had to put Eastern Standard Time. So that's part of it for all of our friends on the West Coast. Big shout out to Ed and all his friends he's getting to watch. We appreciate it. And then we were just running a little bit late with some technical, we'll call them technical difficulties. I didn't know you had to plug a computer in as I reach for my drink. Anyways, tonight we're joined by Armand. Armand, say hi.
What's up, guys?
All right. And special guest speaker tonight, Mr. El Pino.
El Pino.
How's it going, everybody?
There he is, representing Philadelphia. Thank you very much. So again, guys, really appreciate for those of you that are coming back to watch either a second or a third time. Get this off here. And then for those of us that are joining just for the first time, really, really appreciate it. We're going to try and bring some really good knowledge. We're trying to really lay the concrete and the foundation because this show is really, at first anyways, is for our friends and our family to try and get people involved into something that, you know, we all really believe in. And we want to help you guys as much as we can. So we're pouring the concrete into your brain to lay that foundation. Pretty soon we'll start putting up that frame. Make you guys some money if that reference was any good, which I don't think that it was. So don't forget, if you're on here and you're watching either now or later, give us a big like. Mash that like button a bunch of times. Please subscribe. That's what really, really helps us. And then be sure to share the video. Share it on Twitter. Share it on social media, Telegram, Facebook. If you still have a MySpace, I mean, I guess you could do that too. I'm sure Tom may watch the show at some point in time.
So join Adam's back page.
I think it's backdoor page, isn't that what it's called? So I appreciate that. Real quick before we get into the kind of the meat of things, I posted 2 things on our comments page on our YouTube channel. So if you go to our channel, you'll see 2 of them. The first one is I'm going to have a contest. All right, contest is if we get 1,000 subscribers. So that's everybody sharing us. With everybody they know, mashing that like button, sharing it on all your social networks and your social media. I'm going to shave my beard. All right, the beard's going to grow. I love my beard. I don't want to shave my beard. I know there's some people on here that love my beautiful face. You love my beautiful face?
I don't think there's anybody on here that loves your beard.
My mom is watching, okay? My mom and wife are watching. So 2 people love my beautiful face. But no, I'll shave my beard. The sooner we get to 1,000, the sooner I'll shave my beard. The second one is after some, we'll call it connecting and networking, we've decided that we're probably going to change the name of the show. And what we want to do is we want to leave that open to you guys. So in the comments section, put a name of that you would like to see for our show. It could be anything. No profane language, obviously, but it can really be anything, preferably related to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, altcoin, something along those lines. And if we decide to go with your name, Armand and I are going to combine together. We're going to send you some Litecoin, which you should have already set up a Bitcoin wallet from last episode. We'll send you a little bit of Litecoin, kind of help to get your portfolio started a little bit there. If you don't have any, it's obviously not going to be a ton, but we'll do a little bit if we choose your name. So really think of something good. No plagiarizing, obviously, because we'll look for that. But, you know, the more people that go on and leave a comment for our name, and you can leave a bunch. The more you leave, the more likely you are to win. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Guys, anything to add about any of those 2 things?
No, it sounds good, man. I think we've already thought of some really great names, though. So, what was your favorite one, Pino, so far?
I believe we want to play this live and people actually listen to it. There might be children listening, so I think we should just kind of keep our comments to ourselves.
We're going to get into things here in a minute. I wanted to give a personal story. I think it's really good to keep things personal since we're talking to people that we know. And when I was talking to my wife tonight, she was telling me that her mom was watching the show. I think it was yesterday she was watching the show. And she said as she was watching it, she got very overwhelmed, not necessarily with the amount of information that we gave because it was pretty basic, just kind of with the whole concept of everything. How Bitcoin and altcoins is kind of so different. You're not trading really in USD after a while, and you're kind of putting you're putting your money into something that right now is in very, very baby stages. I'm sure when Henry Ford was getting his assembly line together, going around the banks trying to get loans, they're like, oh, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. I'm not going to do this. And then people were very hesitant. People are hesitant about things they don't know. So, as I listened to that, I thought, if there's anything that we can do, and the reason that we started this channel was really to help everybody that we know as much as that we possibly can. If there's anything we can do, please reach out and let us know. If you think that the words that we use or things that we say or mannerisms or really anything that you feel, if you're watching this and you go, you know what, I'm still a little bit uncomfortable about this whole Bitcoin thing, let us know. Because it's our job and it's our duty, being on here, in my opinion, to make it as acceptable and digestible as possible to everybody. So I thought that was, really important to get out there. And I also think it's really important to remember with all the major gains that are going on, you hear about things going up 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%. It doesn't really start like that. Those are just kind of lottery tickets. And that just kind of was a pretty quick thing that kind of popped. And now things are a little bit more back to normal. But, the first time Nolan Ryan threw a fastball, it was probably 50 miles an hour. It wasn't 100 miles an hour. First time The Rock did a bench press. He bench pressed 40 pounds, not 400 pounds.
How about the first time people's elbow?
And the first time...
Actually, The Rock has always benched 200 pounds.
This is The Rock, if you're watching, let us know what your first bench was. But the
first time The Rock did the people's elbow.
The first time the Ghostbusters busted a ghost, it wasn't neat and clean. They destroyed an entire catering hall trying to get that ghost. So remember, you got to start somewhere. Destroy a catering hall, bench press 40 pounds, throw a 50-mile-an-hour fastball, put a couple bucks in your pocket.
You just dated yourself. A lot of our watchers may have never seen Ghostbusters, only the new one.
Pretty sure all the gray in my beard dated myself, but thanks for that. So that's where we are. Be comfortable, be confident. We're going to get you there. We're pouring the concrete. We're busting the ghosts, and we're going to do it together. So without any further ado, we want to get into the meat of things. Armand, you're up, buddy.
All right. So I guess really where we're going to start here is we want to talk a little bit about altcoins, right? I would say that beyond Bitcoin and how to buy Bitcoin, which is really what we talked about last show, I would say probably the next question that I get most frequently is, how do I buy X, right? And X is whatever a lot of people heard about in the news. Most recently, it's definitely been Ripple. How do I buy Ripple? Where do I buy Ripple? Or, how do I buy not Litecoin, I guess, per se, because that's on Coinbase, but really anything outside of Coinbase. So we spent a lot of time last episode really talking about the different ways that you can buy Bitcoin. And really 90% of you, on here that actually maybe did it or have done it or will do it, I'd say 99% probably really, are going to buy on Coinbase. And as soon as you buy on Coinbase, you're going to see the four cryptocurrencies that we talked about on the last episode, which was Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum. But realistically, I mean, right now there's about 5,200 different altcoins, I think, that are available. I mean, give or take, 1,000 at this point. I mean, who knows what they are? And really, the cryptocurrency market cap is, I think the last time I checked was like $800 billion, like almost ready to hit $1 trillion, which is pretty huge. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. But, really with the question I get most is, how do I buy this altcoin? So really what we wanted to talk about in this episode was first, really, what is an altcoin, right? Kind of going over what that is, because that's a term that you're going to hear really frequently. And a lot of people don't really understand what that is. You heard of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's on the news lately. We talk about Bitcoin, especially if, you're our friends and family. I talk about Bitcoin all the time. My wife hates Bitcoin at this point because she's tired of me talking about it, So, but altcoin is really something you'll hear a lot. So what is an altcoin? So, we asked Pino to come on actually to ask us, the questions that I guess we feel that a lot of people that are really new to this space would ask, right? So Pino, like,
don't know
tell
anything.
me what, if you didn't know anything, what would be the question that you would ask really as far as outside of Bitcoin?
If your mind was a completely blank slate and you knew nothing,
You were a total idiot and you didn't know anything, Pino. If you were just a total waste of space, what would you ask me?
So isn't that why you guys brought me on? Because I don't know anything? No, but so coming from it, and that is one of the reasons that I wanted to be on the show, is because my questions that I ask these guys, they literally laugh at me, and then they give me the answer a couple minutes after making a couple jokes at me, because they do have a lot more knowledge than I do. Some of the beginning questions are, other than Bitcoin, is like, how do you know what altcoin to buy? Like, where do you start with altcoins?
Yeah, and really, that's the biggest question is, so once you're on Coinbase and you buy Bitcoin, you want to buy these other altcoins. The question is really, how do you do it, right? So, the first thing, and I'll tell you a little bit of my opinion, whether, everybody likes it or not, but, really, what everybody has to understand about buying altcoins is really everything revolves around Bitcoin. So I always talk about Bitcoin being, the cryptocurrency. Like, it is the end all be all. Like, I still tell people when anybody wants to know, like, hey, how do I get in the space? What should I do? I said in the first episode, I'm going to say it probably every episode is, really the first thing you have to do to get into the space is to buy Bitcoin. Without Bitcoin, really, it doesn't matter what you do. Everything really does revolve around Bitcoin. Everything, all the prices of every other coin, goes against Bitcoin. So, I mean, at the end of the day, really, that is what matters. Like, if you're not going to own Bitcoin and you want to own Ripple, Litecoin, Tron coin, whatever it is, but if you don't own Bitcoin, then you just need to really start there. So, that's really the big thing. At the end of the day, I firmly believe in that, again, like I said, I'm going to give you my opinion because that's the way the show goes, is I get my time and I can do it. An altcoin really is, an altcoin is just a coin that's not Bitcoin. That's really the definition of it. So Bitcoin is the coin. And every other coin is called an altcoin because it's not Bitcoin. So everything revolves around Bitcoin. So when you're buying other stuff than Bitcoin, just understand that there's a lot of people out there, including myself, that really believe at the end of the day, there may be some coins that are going to last, but Bitcoin is really going to be the one that you can bank on. As far as I'm concerned, that's my opinion. That's not financial advice. That's not anything else. But, really Bitcoin at the end of the day is going to be the coin, because everything that the altcoins can do, I firmly believe that Bitcoin at one point can do, right? But with that being said, the easiest way I feel to make money right now is to buy altcoins. I mean, you can make tons and tons of money by doing that. So just to understand, like, what is the definition of an altcoin? It's really anything that's not Bitcoin in its most simplistic form. If it's not Bitcoin, it is an altcoin, right? And to understand, really, with the exception of the couple coins that are on Coinbase, which are Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum, to buy any other altcoin, you have to buy it with Bitcoin, right? And that's a big hard thing that a lot of people don't understand. So if you want to buy a Ripple, which is the big one, or Stellar or Tron or all these other ones, like, you have to first buy Bitcoin. That's the most important thing. So everything revolves, at least right now. That may change in the future. There may be a Coinbase out there that accepts US dollars and you can buy all these things. But as of right this second, if you want to get into the altcoin market, and you want to get outside of those ones that are on Coinbase, you have to buy Bitcoin and you have to go to an exchange, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about exchanges, but, really all an exchange is it's just like you opening up a Ameritrade account. It's just like you opening up your E-Trade account. It's just like you talking to your broker if you're in that, if you're in there, and, you're going to fund that account with Bitcoin. right? And then you're going to buy these altcoins, and that's really how it works. So just understand that in the first place, like the first step is definitely Coinbase. And again, at the bottom of this YouTube video, there's an affiliate link, which is if you click on that to sign up for Coinbase, if you've never done that, one, it supports us and it supports us doing this, but two, it gives you a free $10 if you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin or whatever on there. It'll give you a free $10. So that link's at the bottom. So if you haven't yet set up a Coinbase account, click on the bottom because you'll get a free $10 for doing that. So, and you'll support us for the videos we're doing, which we really appreciate. But, starting off on Coinbase to buy it, you have your Bitcoin, you're there. Now it's how do you buy them, right? So I can tell you that me personally, I probably have about 10 different exchanges that I use, all right? And that's the extreme, but we're just going to go over the three major exchanges, which I think are important, and they're Bittrex, which I would probably say as of a month or two ago was probably the only exchange that I told most of my friends to use. And then Binance, which is probably the second biggest exchange. And then KuCoin, which now is probably the hottest and most exciting exchange. Most people are signing up for it. And we'll talk about the differences real quick and what I like and prefer about the three of them. Really starting with, I'd say, Bittrex, right? So Adam, if you could switch. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Dum Dum. You're a resident Dum Dum. So
real quick on that, just from talking with people who are trying to get involved, they're saying they can't get signed up onto Bittrex and Binance. Is that stuff still pending? New members as of now, or?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Thanks, Dum Dum. Appreciate that. So
that was the last time Pino was on the show.
Yeah. So Bittrex, I do believe you can't sign up for it currently, which I'll be honest with you. I probably still like. I like Bittrex because I feel like the tools that are on there, the technical analysis tools, like if you understand how to read charts and look at different stocks, like I really think Bittrex is just a really easy one to use. And it may be my bias because it's the first one I used. I spent the most time learning on it, but I really like it. But the difference is it does have the highest fees, right? So Bittrex charges you 0.25% fees for any trades you do, which really 0.25%, if you compare that to like an Ameritrade account or any other stock account, is super cheap. But actually in the cryptocurrency market, because you're going in and out of currency so much, you're trading your Bitcoin for Litecoin, your Litecoin for Ethereum, your Ethereum for Ripple, every single time to get hit on that 0.25% is actually a pretty high fee. But with that being said, that has been one of the most popular ones. But yeah, as Pino said, right now you really can't sign up. That's probably going to change in the near future, but they're just not taking any new users. Binance, which is the second one. Now, the other thing to understand is Bittrex is actually out of the U.S. It's a U.S.-based exchange, where Binance, which is the second one we're going to talk about, which is really one of my favorite ones. I just really like it because, one, the fees are so much less, right? So Bittrex has a 0.25% fee that they charge you for every single trade. Well, Binance, and I want to try not to get too complicated in this, but Binance on the base for just doing trades has 0.1, right? So already that's less than half of what Bittrex charges you to trade. But on top of that, they have their own altcoin, which is tied to their exchange, which is called the Binance coin, BNB. And if you own any Binance coin, in the settings on your Binance settings in your account, you can set to pay your fees with the Binance coin. So, I went on there and I just bought $50 worth of Binance coins, and I ended up getting whatever it was, 10 coins at the time or whatever. And if you set it up to pay your fee in Binance coins, they even put that in half. Right, so they take that 1% and now they make it 0.05. So it's really the cheapest exchange out there to trade on. So you're paying 0.25 on Bittrex, but you're only paying, if you use the Binance coin and you spend a little money, which the Binance coin's been going up, and you're making money on owning that. Plus you can use that to pay your fees. You're going to pay 0.05. So it's just super cheap. And I guess the biggest difference other than that between Binance and Bittrex is that Binance has just a lot of newer coins, like a lot of hotter coins, I guess, like newer ICO coins and things where Bitrix is like the, old and steady one, like they have like the most, old school coins that are super, that everybody knows, that have been around for a longer time, where Binance is kind of, they'll list really the newest coins out there. So that's another reason why I really like Binance. I guess the only issue with Binance has been, I think today they opened it up for a little bit, but they also, because of so many people now getting into the market, they limited people being able to sign up for that, which is why I've been recommending a lot of people, and which is one of the other most popular exchanges now. Just so many people have been blowing up, which is the KuCoin exchange. All right, so KuCoin exchange is the third one that you can sign up on, and there's a lot of really great things about the KuCoin exchange. My favorite thing about it, and I told all my friends and I tell everybody about it, is that their fees are different. So what they do is they have a huge referral program where if you refer other people to buy it, they actually only keep, out of the total fees that they charge somebody for making a trade, they only keep 10% of them. So they give everything else back to the community, which is pretty cool, which is making it why so many people are jumping onto the exchange. So they're also like Binance, where they list a lot of the hot coins and new things coming out. And actually, I feel like lately they've had some really exciting coins that Binance even hasn't had, that Bitrix hasn't even come close to. So KuCoin is even more like the real exciting ones, like Dragon Chain, which is the one linked to Disney, and like a bunch of other stuff where they've had it before anybody else has had it. But they're cool because if you refer anybody, you get a percentage of their fees for their trades, where they actually pay you for it. And on top of that, if you own their KuCoin coin, just like Binance has their own coin, they give you 40% of everybody's fees. So really, they pass along most of the fees that they get, where everybody else is greedy, greedy motherfuckers, and they get their own stuff where, they actually give away 90% of their fees back to the community, which is awesome. So 40% goes to people who refer people, and 40% goes back to people who bought that KuCoin coin, which has actually been blowing up. I mean, we all of us here, we just started getting on the KuCoin change probably a couple weeks ago, and that coin has, not only do you get money back for all the fees that the exchange takes, but I mean, the coin itself has gone up in value probably 3 times, I think, in the last couple of weeks. So the KuCoin exchange is actually a pretty awesome one. So it's really my favorite one right now, I'd probably say, about from all 3 of them.
So Armin, I have a question for you. So why? Let me see if I can. There we go. So why are there's different coins on different exchanges, right? Whereas on the stock market, typically, unless you're on Robinhood, you can.
Well, actually, that's exactly the example I was going to use, which is funny that you said Robinhood. But why is it exactly like you go on Robinhood, which a lot of people probably understand because it's a free, stock trading platform. Why is it that Robinhood, doesn't have every single thing listed on there? They don't have a lot of ETFs. They don't have a lot of penny stocks on there. Like, they only have the major stuff. And that's the same way that these exchanges are. It's that you have to apply, right, to be able to be listed on these exchanges. So, everybody, the process for each one's a little longer. I mean, at the end of the day, most of the coins end up on Bitrix. It's just that approval process and that whole thing takes longer. Where with KuCoin and Binance, it's just, the process to get on it is just a lot easier. Binance is one of the best ones, in my opinion, is that they ask the users, they ask everybody that has a Binance account, they do a vote every single month, and they ask, hey, what would you like us to list, right? Which would you think is which is something that you want to see? And they let the users actually vote for it, and whoever wins, they list that coin. So like, Ryblocks, which was a huge one that I really liked the technology for. I thought it was awesome the way that they did things, that they put that vote up, and Ryblox just got announced a couple of days ago that that the users of Binance all voted that they wanted to list that, so they now list that coin. So that's a really awesome part about Binance that they do. So, but really, it's the approval process, how long it takes. I mean, they'll all end up being on Binance and Bittrex, if it's a good solid coin. But the other guys just list them faster because the process is less strenuous.
Awesome, that's really good information. Pino, what other questions do you have?
One thing you mentioned earlier, and I think it would be helpful for somebody beginning.
Why don't you have a drink? This is a drinking show.
I'm sorry. I got my.
There you go.
You're glue.
You mentioned Bittrex as having some great tools, but unfortunately for new people, they can't sign up to use them as an exchange. Are they still able to use those tools even though they can't get logged in and like sign up and use the exchange itself?
So I feel like that's a way more an advanced question, Pino, that you're loading up because you know the answer. But one, you can use those tools on Binance and KuCoin. I just don't feel like they're as easy. But I'll tell you the other site that I really use a lot, which is I think one of the best sites out there, which is called TradingView. So TradingView.com, you can go to it. You can use it free. It actually works for everything. It works for traditional stock markets, and it works for cryptocurrency. And you can use it for free if you want to pay for the pro version. They always have a lot of different specials and stuff on it, but you can use the free one just as easy. And that has all the technical analysis tools if you want to get into charting and want to do things on every single most coins out there. It's got a ton of coins. So that would be what I prefer to use next to Bittrex. So I'll use this a lot, because I just don't like the way that Binance looks personally. I'll use TradingView if there's a coin that I'm looking at that's not on Bittrex and I want to do some technical analysis on it, do some charting on it. I'll go into TradingView. So, and that's a free program that everybody can use. That answer your question, Pino?
Yes, sir.
You have any other questions?
Not at the moment.
All right. So Armin, give us just a real quick recap, sort of about what we went over. The three main exchanges, the fees specifically for each exchange, and maybe like a real quick, in your opinion, besides the fees, right? A pro and a con. So when you first started trading, what did you think was good about the one site, and what was something that maybe you thought they could improve upon? And maybe our very large fan base can take that information.
So I can tell you, Bittrex, I still at the end of the day, I think it's the easiest, and I think it's the easiest for a new person. And the simple reason that is that one, it shows you the price in Bitcoin, which ends up being broken down in Satoshis. But it also shows you the US dollar. So I think for me, when I first got into it, it was a lot easier for me to relate to that site because it showed me the US dollar value of everything, even though, and I'm sure in the very near future, going to have an episode about this. That's actually probably the biggest downfall that somebody new into the altcoin market can really do is it's so hard to get out of it. And, I think I just finally broke Adam out of it. I think I just finally broke Pino out of it and some other people where, you really don't want to, when you're looking at your losses and gains, when you're buying altcoins, like I said, you're buying it with Bitcoin, right? And the Bitcoin price goes up and down all the time. I mean, Bitcoin was, almost $20,000, a few weeks ago. Bitcoin right now is under 14,000. 2 days ago, it was 17,000. So you're talking about a $5,000 swing in Bitcoin. So you're buying all these altcoins in Bitcoin, right? But you're trying to measure the price of if you're gaining or losing money in US dollars. And that really doesn't work because the price of Bitcoin is swinging up and down $5,000 at some point, which is crazy. It's a very volatile market. So, you have to measure your gains and losses in Satoshis, which is the smallest unit of a Bitcoin. So the problem with Bittrex, and I always feel that kind of hampers people, like I said, it made me feel more comfortable using it at first, and that's why I think that a lot of people like it, but it also shows the US dollar value of the coins. But really, that's probably your biggest handicap, where you have to not get over, but I guess learn to understand that, if you bought an altcoin for $1.30 at that exact second, but you bought it for 700 Satoshis, which was the Bitcoin coin which was the Bitcoin value at that exact second. 2 weeks later, it may be worth $1 more, right? But because Bitcoin went up so much, that coin may have still dropped and it may be worth less. So you may have bought it for 700 Satoshis, but it's only worth 500 right now. But Bitcoin went up $5,000. So it looks like you're making money, but really you didn't. You actually technically lost money because you lost Bitcoin. So that's the one thing about Bittrex that I think is a great thing to look at, and it makes everybody feel easier to use it, and it's more comfortable, and it gets your feet wet into it. But it's also the biggest handicap. Where Binance and KuCoin, you're really jumping into that, and they just deal in Satoshi. So you're really just talking about Bitcoin price, and that's it. Like, they don't really mess around with the US dollar one. KuCoin even more. KuCoin doesn't show anything about the US dollar amount. So, and then when you get in even other exchanges, like that's the three main ones that I use. But like I said, I use 10 different exchanges. I mean, some of them they don't even translate in the US dollars. They don't even list it. So, that's the biggest thing. Bittrex, like I said, definitely most user-friendly for somebody getting into it, but it's a handicap. You just can't think when you're talking about altcoins. You can't really think of an altcoin in the US dollar value, which is tough because we just think about US dollars. But you're buying it with Bitcoin, you have to think about it in the Bitcoin price. So
awesome. That was a really, really good recap. So again, guys, last week we sort of laid the foundation for how to get involved. This week was, if you want to evolve, right, and not just be involved, there's 3 good sites to do it. There's Binance, there's KuCoin, and there's Bittrex. Once Bittrex and Binance open up, and they will. This is very new. I mean, cryptocurrency really only took off in 2017. Before that, it was still nothing anybody ever heard of. So Arm never heard of it. Pino never heard of it. I never heard of it.
For us in 2017.
Yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, that's most people. Nobody really heard of it. I mean, before that, it kind of wasn't anything. Nobody had any shows about it. And there wasn't anything on Twitter for the most part. It's a very small community that's growing larger and larger, and it's great. And you want to be a part of this organic growing experience. And as you get your cement laid, your foundation on Coinbase, do a little bit of trading on these other sites. Even a little bit. It's very, very easy to learn. The learning curve is very, in my opinion, the learning curve is very small because it's something that it's your money. It's something that you're going to take a very vested interest in. The big thing right now is there's big thing right now is there's chances, just like in the regular stock market, but there's chances for really incredible gains. People that bought Ripple at the very beginning, 22,000% gains. There was another one that I heard of. I can't remember. I was listening to I think it was Coin Mastery earlier, and it was 30,000% gains. 30,000%. That's great, right? It's amazing. If you hit a home run, that's fantastic.
Listen, I'll tell you real quick. I mean, I've told you guys this one. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just since you're talking about, the price is the 2 ones that I tell all the people I know is that, we're right now in January of 2018, right? So January of 2017, right? If you put $6,000 in Ripple, which right now Ripple's only about $2, but obviously a year ago it was a fraction of that price. If you only put $6,000 in Ripple in January of 2017, last year, you're a millionaire today. That's crazy. If you would have put $100, right? You took less than that. If you took $1,000 last year, 1 year ago in January of 2017, you took $1,000 and you just went on coinmarketcap.com all right, which is a website that shows all the current cryptocurrencies that are out there. All 5,200 of them are on there. If you would have just took the top 100 last year, and you would have just put $10 into each of those, and you would have just hold that money in there, never looked back, and just looked at it January right now, you'd have $50,000. Like, the gains that you can make in this market are sick. Like, it really is. It's crazy. I mean, but you could also lose a ton of money, and you could also make a ton of bad decisions. And this isn't last year. This is this year. So, I mean, we'll see what happens next January when we're talking about this again. But, I firmly believe that, this is going to be a crazy year. And already in just January, in the couple 10 days, it's already been a crazy year. So, I tell everybody, they always ask me, again, I know I've said this before, but, everybody always asks me, is it too late? Can I still get into this? Is there still money to be made? And, my answer, again, I'm not a financial advisor, so, this isn't financial advice, but really, I mean, there's so much room to grow. I mean, it's an $800 billion market cap right now. And I mean, we just hit the cryptocurrency. It was only like a month ago or less, I think. It was less than a month ago that we had $500 billion. So realistically, it's going to be $1 trillion market cap in no time. I mean, there's just a lot of money to be made right now. I mean, this isn't, this isn't a joke. This isn't some kind of bubble or whatever. Cryptocurrency really isn't going anywhere. This isn't the .com bubble. This is a very soon to be, $1 trillion market. I mean, it's pretty insane. So it's awesome.
Something, just to kind of throw in as far as what you're saying, as this just being like the beginning and, still being in its infancy stages. I was going through and kind of looking at something. I came across a statistic where they were trying to, if you're familiar with it a little bit, you have a lot of people saying it's a bubble and, be weary and, be afraid and kind of be scared about it. They said that if this market, as we'll say, were to crash, it was going to affect less than 0.7% of the entire investment market. Like, just to kind of show you how small and how new this is, that, it's so small that it's really not affecting virtually anybody yet. So to get involved with this, you really are, like, as you start hearing the word Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and you're starting to see all these crazy gains that, people becoming millionaires already, people are maybe hesitant.
There's already going to be a billionaire.
Oh, yeah.
And, millionaires have already happened, times and times and times and times. So many people have become millionaires from cryptocurrency. I mean, that's not even a thing to brag about.
It's more the, people are afraid to maybe jump in thinking, oh, maybe I missed this bubble, or, not the bubble, but maybe I missed this wave of, getting involved. It's something to just, I tell everybody that I come across when I mention anything about it. I'm like, take $50 and put it in there and just slowly, if your 50 turns into 60, that's a win. Any way you look at it, if your 50 turns into 70, like, great. It's something to start off small. And, one thing that I've always said, and, you'll never get anywhere in life unless you invest your money. Just working your entire life and just keeping that money just sitting around is going to do you nothing. Like, you have to invest. And, what a better way to get involved into something.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is you can follow around every Brinks armored truck and just hope that the door opens in the back and money falls out. That would be the other option. Or
that actually happened, I think, in the late 80s or something. So you have a chance. I think the guy ended up committing suicide, but hey, it was a win for a little bit for him.
No, I mean, and that is a question. Like I said, people that are listening to this, I mean, maybe you've heard of Bitcoin. you're a small percentage of the population, right? So then maybe if you're listening to this, you're one of those people that actually bought some Bitcoin. You have a Coinbase account, you've bought some, maybe you've bought some Litecoin or Ethereum or some Bitcoin Cash because it's on Coinbase, right? So you're a little bit more like you're one step, you're way further ahead of other people, right? So you're on top of hearing about it. Now you own some. Now when you're talking about altcoins and all that stuff, now, I mean, really, you lost most people at that point. All right. Then you talk about even crazier things like mining and all that stuff. And, you know, at that point, it's even worse. So this is a completely new, new thing. Like we're not doing something that, the mass majority of people have no idea what we're talking about.
I'm back.
We didn't miss you too much. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Bigger.
So.
My internet went out.
Yeah, the beard's still there though.
Because he has too much trading going on there, he's shutting down the internet.
That's right. I just wanted to show everybody the coin market cap. There it is. Okay.
And on the next video or two from now, do you guys plan on kind of showing how to move money from a Bitcoin into an altcoin?
What's that? You want to show people how to fund your account, basically, is what you're asking?
Yes, like I'd like to use your money to put into my exchange, and I'd like you guys to do that.
Well, I already tell you what to trade, so that we might as well do that too, Pino.
Exactly. Why not? I mean, it's like, hey, how you're helping me make my money? Why not just give me your money? It'd be easier.
Yep.
I really I think that would probably be one of the better ways to kind of show, even if you're just moving, a very small amount, something to, certainly for the beginners. I know I struggle even now. Like I kind of look at the screen and I stare at it for a couple of minutes and I like look around to figure out what I need to do and finally eventually figure out, where and what I need to do to move stuff around. But I think that would be a big help to myself as well as our viewers.
Well, thanks for the future video advice there, Pino.
Glad I can help you.
Absolutely. So guys, that's it. It's 30 minutes has passed, come and gone really quickly. A lot of great questions from El Pino. A lot of great information from Armin as always. Really the brains of the show. If I'm the looks and Armin's the brains, I'm not really sure what Pino is, but we appreciate him being here today.
He's the DeVito of the twins. So
I'm just that guy, I guess.
No, but we appreciate it. And it is important to ask the questions. And guys, if you want to know how to move money around, this is a friends and family thing right now. Give us a call. Leave a comment on our YouTube page. Send us something on Facebook or Twitter. There's a lot of different ways to get in touch with us. You can email us, dumbdumbcrypto@gmail.com. Either Armin or myself will get back to you to try and help you guys really with whatever it is that you want or that you need. If you have any specific questions about coins, we can help you out with that. ICOs, if coins are going to fork. If you're more advanced, there's things that, we would definitely love to talk about.
Mining we could talk about. We got our buddy up. I got our other buddy into mining now. So if you're interested in maybe doing some mining, I can talk to you about that, definitely. So really whatever. And just remember too, again, I know I keep promoting it, but there's a couple links at the bottom. There's one for the Coinbase, obviously, like I said. There's another one if you want to sign up for Binance, if they're accepting people, which is a referral link that helps me and Adam out. And there's also a referral link for KuCoin, which helps me and Adam out. So, and remember, other than subscribing and liking the channel, make sure you hit the bell button, which a little bell symbol, that'll give you alerts. So that way, if we're doing a video, you can see that if you hit the little bell, it'll let you know when we're doing a video so that you can watch it without us telling.
Awesome. again, guys, like, when I lost my internet connection, so I got disconnected there. But, you don't have to make 10,000% gains to make a lot of money. There's still a lot of coins out there. They're going to make 10x gains. And if you 10x your money, and then you take that money and you put it in something else that 10x is, and you do that a couple times, you just 100x your money. That's
if you double your money in the stock market, that's crazy. So, I mean, even what Adam's saying, like, oh man, you don't have to 1,000 times your gains. You can 10x. Like, that's insane. Like, that's actually so common in this market to 10x your gains. If you actually buy in low and buy out, like, it's so common in the cryptocurrency market. It's almost disgusting. And if you found something in this stock market that 10x, you're like a super genius. Like, it's almost crazy how that happens every day in this market.
In the investment world, to find something that can give you a 10% to 15% return is a great investment. So keep that in mind. It's when Adam's
we're talking
about
10x, which is different, Bino. We're not talking a 10% gain. We're talking about coins that have gone up 10 times.
10 times. No, I understand that, and that's why. What I'm saying is in the investment world, to find something that gives you a 10%
if you can find something in the stock market that gives you a 10% return, you're a genius.
Yeah, like, let alone something that's going to give you 10 times your investment, which is, in the investment world, like in the stock market, you're the next Warren Buffett. Like, you're doing great if you can do that. That's what's happening in this crypto world.
Right. And guys, we want to do that together with you. We want everybody to live long and prosper, as it were. So we've taken up a lot of your time. I really appreciate it. Mash that like button. Mash that share button. Excuse me. Mash that subscribe button. If you work for a big company like, I don't know, some sort of home remodeling company, please share it with all your friends.
Like somebody that sells cell phones.
Anybody that sells cell phones, I'm sure we got a lot of those people that are seeing this from the Facebook. Please share this, like it. If you have questions, guys, reach out to us. Send us a Facebook Messenger, or send us a private message, send us a direct message on Twitter. However you want to get in touch with us. If you have questions, you don't want to ask them on the chat or whatever, please feel free to do that. Don't forget about the 2 contests that we have going on. We have the beard shaving contest, and we have the name the show contest. One is a financial reward, and one is a visual reward. And other than that, guys, we really appreciate your time.
Either way, you win.
Either way, you win. That's right. Till next episode, guys. Cheers.
Have a good one.